The Pacific Theater added a new revolver to the game, and you're probably wondering if it's any good and if it could possibly replace your current sidearm. To find that out, we're going to have a look at the stats and compare it to the rest of the arsenal. By now I'm sure most of you know how to get your hands on the new revolver, but if you don't, you can unlock it by progressing through the chapter rewards. So make sure to complete all your Tides of War assignments if you want to get your hands on it as soon as possible. Starting off with the basics, the Model 27 fires 105 rounds per minute and comes with a 6-round magazine. At first it may feel really underwhelming because of how slow it fires, and that's apparent when you compare it to the others. It's the slowest of all sidearms and has the joint lowest ammo capacity if you exclude the Liberator. As a result, you may find yourself awkwardly waiting around to fire your next shot, and sometimes can get you into a bit of trouble, especially if you're running around with it as your primary weapon. However, the lack of rate of fire is mostly offset by its uniquely high damage model and starts off delivering a maximum of 56 up to 15 meters, 50 from 30 meters and a minimum of 28 from 100 meters onwards. When you combine that with the appropriate body multipliers, you're capable of taking out anyone within 30 meters with a single headshot or 2 body shots. I would say that's exceptional for a revolver and gives it a significant reach advantage over the Mark V revolver, who's only capable of doing so up to 12 meters. So there's an 18 meter reach advantage to be had, and really allows you to extend your range and engage with players that are much further away. You could say the M27 is the sniper of sidearms, and if you're precise enough you can really make it work. Also, it's got a high bullet velocity for a revolver and is double that of the Mark V. So distant targets are a lot easier to land on whether they're moving or not. The only downside preventing it from being really effective at mid-range is the iron sights. Whenever you aim down sight, a good 80% of your target is covered by the weapon and takes a bit of time to get used to. Also, the hipfire isn't as good as the Mark V, therefore you can't really rely on your hipfire outside of extreme close quarters. So accuracy is key when using the M27, and in my opinion is the perfect sidearm for a recon player. The high damage output per bullet means that most of the time a single follow-up is all you need, rather than a pair when using a weaker sidearm, ultimately decreasing the time in between shots, making it harder for your opponent to escape. For example, let's say you're using the Krag Jorgensen. One follow-up shot with the M27 is sufficient enough up to 42 meters compared to 18 with the Mark V revolver. Of course, players can self-heal in between shots and that may happen from time to time, but overall you're much better off with the M27 when playing as a recon. On the other hand though, for those who aren't so precise or only happen to use sidearms in close quarters, then the Mark V revolver comes out on top if you manage to stay within 12 meters. This may be a deciding factor for those who tend to hip fire a lot towards the body and never really use it outside of close quarters. If that's the case, then you're much better off sticking with the Mark V revolver. So, in conclusion, the Model 27 packs a huge punch and is best suited for mid-range firefights. The high muzzle velocity allows it to succeed at ranges no other sidearm can comfortably succeed at. However, the really slow rate of fire prevents it from shining in close quarters. Every missed shot feels extremely punishing, and unless you can manage to land headshots, you may struggle to make it work. Like I've said, I would highly recommend the M27 to be your new recon sidearm, but if you made up your mind purely based on aesthetics alone, then I don't blame you. The animations when deploying the weapon and reloading are really cool, and I wouldn't mind seeing more of that when appropriate. And that's all I've got for you guys today. Do let me know what you think of the new Model 27 revolver. As always, feel free to leave a rating and I'll see you later. Take care.